Hello and welcome to the AV Wannabe, a podcast where I introduce my sister to a movie she's never seen before. I'll be your host, Brad, and this is my useless blonde companion, Aubrie.
Welcome to the club.
You like that one?
That's pretty good.
I wanted to make sure I got that one.
It's great. It's my favorite one so far.
I thought you would appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, today we'll be talking about Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. It's the second installment of the franchise. Aubrie, what did you think of this? Always a good sign with a big sigh.
What a dumpster fire of a movie. It was awful. It was so bad that it made me like the first one more. It was terrible. A terrible movie. How did they get another one after this? Two more after this. And a ride? When did the ride get built? Did it get built after this one? Because there's things in the ride that look like this.
Well, it was definitely built when I was born, and this movie came out in the 80s.
Okay.
So I think the ride came out in I want to say it was like 95 or something like that. You want me to look it up for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a little fact check.
Opened officially on March 4, 1995.
Okay.
So
after this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, after the third one.
Oh, okay. Great.
The first three were out, and then they made this ride.
How? The third one must be like a masterpiece for them to be like, this is so good, so brilliant what we've done here with these three films. We must make a ride. I'm confused.
It was a different time back then, Aubrie. We didn't have as many amazing films.
Oh my gosh.
So you didn't like this one?
I didn't like it. I don't even know where to begin with what I didn't like. I didn't like Indiana Jones in this. He was like a different character.
Yeah, he's much different than in the first one.
He has a different tone to him, like a different attitude. He was completely different. I didn't like him. I thought he was more like sleazy, more cocky.
Very much so. And he's a playboy.
A playboy now, when in the first one
they didn't want that to happen.
They didn't want him to be like that, and he definitely was not.
Yeah.
I did not like him at all. At all. The woman, I hated her.
She was not good.
The only thing she was good for was to scream.
and the elephant scene.
And the elephant scene. Yeah. Besides that, she was just completely useless. I mean, I'll give her one thing that, like, at least she committed fully to it.
Yeah.
And was annoying the entire time.
It's like she came out of nowhere, too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not really nowhere, but yeah.
I don't understand why he took her.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know why she went with him on the plane.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. She, like, the guy obviously doesn't want her, so she doesn't need her for ransom or a trade or anything. He doesn't know her.
Yeah, she wasn't in cahoots with Indy. She could have left him at any point before they got on that plane.
Yeah, she could have been like, I'm leaving here. Like, like when they were like chasing the diamond or the antidote, she could have just left at any time. Like,
yeah, but her greed got the best of her.
Right. But even then, like, after that, she could have been like, drop me off here or I'm not getting on that plane. Like, so many outs she had. And I didn't understand the purpose of her at all. She did not serve a purpose. Like, she didn't make a connection with the kid. Her and Indy's relationship was strange.
Her relationship with her and Indy is purely like
just like sexual tension.
Yeah, just lust. It's
which wasn't even like it wasn't a lust that was like believable either. It was like weird. It wasn't like they hate each other so much, but there's like some tension there. It was just bad. Like,
yeah, it wasn't believable.
Yeah. It wasn't. I didn't like it. It felt awkward to me. Every time they had like some kind of like romantic scene, it made me cringe because I was like, it just doesn't feel right, especially coming off of the first Indiana Jones movie, and it's a different Indiana, and then now he's like this full of lust person, and it didn't feel right. So I'm like, ugh, it didn't sit right with me.
Especially seeing this one's a prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, it's a prequel?
This one takes place before the first movie.
Oh, I thought it took place after.
No, I think it takes place like a year before the last movie.
Now it really doesn't make sense. I didn't get that it was a prequel at all. Not one bit.
It takes place 1 or 2 years before the last movie.
Yeah, so now it makes even less sense now. It wasn't good. It was like, there was no like, I don't know, like soul in it or something. I don't know. It was lacking so much between the two of them. I didn't like them at all. I didn't like the girl. The only thing that I liked the girl for was when she kept getting hit in the head with the elephant's trunk.
It was a pretty funny scene.
That was the only thing I thought she was useful for.
Yeah.
Or when she got on the elephant backward, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, she was supposed to be like the comedy relief in this movie.
Yeah, I think she was, but she missed the mark because she wasn't funny most of the time. Like those bits, she was funny when she's like screaming because she keeps running into all these wild animals. Like that's pretty funny and relatable because, I mean, you can only take so much when you're in a situation you're not comfortable with. Besides that, like, I didn't like her. She got like, it wasn't like whining, complaining of like the funny parts. She was like just too over the top of complaining to where it was annoying.
Yeah, she was too much of a complainer in this film. I have a friend who I love listening to complain. It's just funny whenever he complains. It makes me laugh, it makes me giggle, but that's not everyone. Not everyone's a funny complainer.
Yeah.
And she's not a funny complainer. She was just a complainer that you're just like, shut up.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
think there has to be like an element of like some dry humor or something in there that makes the complaining funny.
Yeah.
But she didn't have any of that. It was just pure whining, and that just really bothered me.
Yeah.
The kid, I can't decide if I liked him or not.
Short Round.
It's a funny name.
First name Short, last name Round.
It's pretty good. When we first meet him, I think it's really funny. I'm a little confused because they like drop into this car and he's the driver. This kid is the driver.
Yeah.
And I'm confused. I thought like there was another adult in the car and he was just like there. And I was confused. And then they show that he's like got blocks strapped to his shoes. And I thought that was really funny. I thought that was a good like,
Yep.
it was like, you know, I don't know. It's funny.
Short Round's always been my favorite in this movie.
Yeah, I think he was my favorite too because he like served the best purpose because I really liked his relationship with Indy.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Dr. Jones to you.
Yeah. The fact that he like found him and now he's just been like, I don't know, like letting him tag along but like kind of teaching him, and I like their
It's
relationship.
like a father-son relationship.
Yeah, but they're also like
Best
buddies.
friends, you know?
Yeah, I like this dynamic that they have. He's also kind of like his teacher. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I thought that was the best relationship in the film.
Yeah, me too. I liked that. But I don't know if I liked the kid actor.
Oh,
Is
really?
he an American actor being forced to do an Asian accent, or is he actually Japanese?
Well, he was supposed to be Chinese.
I thought
in
he
the
was.
film.
I thought he was Japanese because they dropped a bomb on Hiroshima.
No. It was the Japanese that dropped a bomb on his Chinese village.
Oh, I thought. Okay, when I heard it is he found him after Hiroshima got bombed.
No, this is pre-Hiroshima because Hiroshima got bombed in the 40s.
Well, that's why I thought it was after the first movie.
Yeah.
So like I heard it wrong, I guess.
It happens to me in every single film we've talked about.
Yeah. Okay, so was he
He's
trying?
He's Vietnamese.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, I mean, not quite right, but
Well, like a little background on this guy. They put out a casting call for elementary kids or whatever, and like 6,000 showed up. And he showed up to support his brother who was going for the role. And then Spielberg saw him interacting with his brother as he was like, you got to do this. You got to do this. And then he was like, hey, bring that kid over here and bring Ford. He had him do an improv of the card scene that you see.
That's a good scene.
Yeah, well, that was improvised, like right then and there, and he's like, "This guy's got it," and he wasn't even supposed to. He wasn't even trying for that position.
His poor brother.
I know, right? His brother's like, "I got this, I got this," and then
his little brother.
well, I don't know if he was littler or
his
older,
his
but
brother.
his sibling gets it, and he wasn't even trying for it.
That's a shame.
Yeah, but I liked him a lot.
Yeah, I can't decide if I liked him or not. I think I liked him. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go with I did like him. I mean, out of all the characters, he was the one I liked the best.
Yeah,
and he had some of the best scenes.
mm-hmm.
I liked that he had a Yankees cap on.
Yeah, it might have been actually a New York Dodgers or something like that.
I don't know. I liked his baseball
Back
cap
then?
that he
Yeah.
had on. It was
Definitely a New
was fun.
Yorker hat.
Yeah, it was fun that he gave him a baseball cap.
Yeah.
I liked him. Easily like the best in the entire film.
He was my favorite still.
Yeah. The bad guys, I don't know. What happened to the first one? Like there was so much invested in that opening scene that I thought we were going to see more of him.
I think they're the triad or the Chinese guys, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Like, because I mean, they essentially are trying to kill him through the plane,
Yeah.
and that's the last. That's that.
That's it.
Yeah.
They're gone. All right.
You know, that's back there over that border.
Yeah. Yeah. Wrong side.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like them. What I did like was that lazy Susan action.
You really laughed through that whole scene for some reason.
I don't know who Susan was, but man, am I glad she's lazy.
Every time they spun around something, Aubrey would just lose her mind and start laughing. It's like the super tense scene, and they just like start handing things over using the lazy Susan, and Aubrey's like, blah!
It's such a big table. And then it takes so long for them to like spin the little lazy Susan all the way around. It's just so funny. And then I think they realize that they're like, all right, we need to stop using this, because the last time they passed something over, the girl like passed it. They didn't lazy Susan
They
it
didn't
around.
lazy Susan it. Yeah.
But it was like, I think that's easily like the only good part in this film.
You really like the first 10 minutes of these Indiana Jones films.
Oh, yeah. After that, they just lose me.
You see, I would say I didn't like a lot of the first 10 minutes.
I didn't like that big, like, show number.
Yeah, I could do without the show number.
Yeah, it was like, I get that. I think they were, like, trying to lay groundwork, like, a backstory for this female character, but I didn't really care.
Yeah, if that's the case, then I think, personally, I think they failed, because I don't care if this white woman can speak Chinese or,
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably Cantonese or something like
Mandarin.
Mandarin, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, also, it goes on for a little bit too long, and they just say the same 5 words over and over again.
Right.
Who cares?
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and okay, now that you said this is a prequel,
Yeah.
why do we not see this guy that keeps taking things from Indy in the first one?
You know, that's a good point. I didn't even think about it. Where's the French guy?
Like, yeah, because the first one is like, he always gets it. Like, he always snags it at the last second.
Why wasn't he at the end of the bridge with all the
Yeah,
British
like,
people?
where was he? If this is
Yeah.
like their thing, and it's, it's always been their thing, then
back
where?
and forth kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
like where'd he go?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I guess they weren't really like I don't know.
No, I think that's a good point. Like in the first film, he establishes like just like another thing I could take from you that you found or whatever. Like what was his name? Kellogg?
I really don't remember.
Something like that. It's this whole thing where he's always there at the end, just before the finish line, steals it away from Indiana Jones and walks it 2 steps. You know what I mean?
And leaves Indiana Jones in a pickle.
Yeah, every single time. Where was he in this one, seeing it takes place while he's still alive?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I didn't even think about it.
Everything they laid out in the first film is gone in this one.
Right. Also, why is Indiana Jones in the first 10 minutes, why is he so obsessed with this diamond?
Yeah, we don't know any. And then the diamond gets lost in a bunch of ice and
Yeah.
it's gone forever now.
Now we no longer care about this diamond. Why is he giving up an actual artifact of history that he treasures in the first film more than money? Why is he giving that up for a diamond, which
Yeah.
we don't have any context of what is significant about this diamond? Like, diamonds are not rare or they're artificially precious currently in
Right.
present day
Because you can make them.
well, I mean, there's a company that controls like 90 something percent of all the diamonds, and they just artificially make them precious by only releasing so many of them.
Oh, okay.
But like, it's just a diamond. It's just compressed carbon. Who cares?
Right.
He shouldn't care. What he cares about is history, artifacts, and stuff. He doesn't care about like precious gems.
Yeah, well, like with this gem thing, it made me feel like now he's not like what are the digger people called?
The
Archaeologists.
the people that dig stuff. I want to make sure that everyone knows.
Archaeologists.
Dig site people.
What was I saying? Oh,
Yeah.
it made me feel like he was less of an archaeologist, and now he's more like a
thief.
a James Bond character.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Of like
okay.
now he's working for somebody, and he's the guy that goes and gets the job done, but he's not that. He's a professor who likes to go find artifacts, and that's what he likes to do.
Yeah.
Like
It seems conflicting of interest right
yeah,
here. Yeah.
it didn't feel right.
Yeah.
It felt like a completely different character again.
You know what? You're right. This does feel like a totally different character from the first Indiana Jones. The only thing that's similar is that he dresses the same and is the same actor.
Yeah.
But they could have labeled this something completely different and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
They could have called this like Emilio Estevez and the Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
I don't know why Coach Bombay popped into my head first, but
yeah, it just didn't carry over right. It just is something like disconnected.
character continuity feels a little disingenuous right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I just don't know.
You see, I thought there were moments in the movie where I thought you were engaged and enjoyed it, but I guess I was totally wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I followed this one better than the first one.
Yeah.
The pacing was different, kinda. Before we get to the red room, is all I can think to call it, with like the lava and they keep making sacrifices.
The sacrificial room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I like how you called it the red room rather than the sacrifice room.
Oh, it's all red.
Okay, fair enough. Let's go.
Until you get to the sacrifice room.
Uh-huh.
Then I feel like the pacing
Thank you.
I feel like the pacing is really good. But once we get into this room, now they've lost me again. Because we spend so much time in this room. Before I get into that, the first part I felt like had good pacing and it gave me like hope, because when they got stuck in that room and then the ceiling started dropping and the spikes came out, there was that little bit of like problem solving that I wanted in the first one, where they're like looking for something. They're like, there's got to be like a lever or something. And then the girl has to come in and she has to reach into this gross hole that she doesn't know what's in there. Like the suspense and stuff. That's where I was like, oh, they're going to get through this room and then there's going to be another thing they have to do.
Yeah.
And I was getting excited because I was like, this is what I wanted in the first one. And they like figured it out and then they didn't.
Yeah. Well, it's like they get you excited because he's like, he finds there's a draft and then he pushes that statue in and you're like, oh, this is problem solving stuff right
exactly.
here.
You're like, oh, this is cool. Like it's crazy and you wouldn't think to look there and I wouldn't have noticed the flowers. And like, it was really cool.
Right.
It got me super engaged.
And then he starts using big words. And he's like, we need to like find a release fulcrum or something like that. I know he uses a fulcrum, but he's like, we need to find this, and everyone's like, what is that? It's like he's using like words.
And there's like chaos because the kid's like, I didn't do it. You told me to do it, and I just did what you told me to do.
You told me to stand up against that wall.
And it's very funny, and you can see like Indy's like angry at the kid, but he can't be angry because he's just a kid, and like it was an accident, but like they're gonna die, and the emotions are high, and I loved it.
And then you got the lady who's supposed to save him, and she's like, oh, broke
I
another
broke a
nail.
nail.
It's just, and there's like got spikes coming down on them.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that's a good moment.
Yeah.
And then they enter into the sacrifice room. And I'm like, okay, all right. So they've stumbled upon this. And then they spend so much time here. Like, I understand they want to, like, show the sacrifice and this dude they can grab hearts and all this craziness.
Kalima.
But, like, they spend so much time.
Yeah.
So much time in there. And then we spend, like, the rest of the movie in here. I got tired of it so fast. I understand, like, needing to go back. They got to go get the stones or whatever. But we spend so much time here. And it's like, I get it. But they didn't, it wasn't even, like, there was no purpose besides, like, getting the stones. But, like, Indiana got, like, drugged. And I didn't like that at all.
The drinking of the blood or whatever.
Well, I thought that was, like, funny how he, like, spit it in his face and stuff.
It's
But
pretty good.
when he's, like, under the effects of it, I
Mhm.
didn't like that at all. I thought it was cringy acting from Harrison Ford. I thought it was really bad.
Where he's like under the spell or whatever.
Yeah, and then when this, like, everyone's trying to wake him up, and they're like, "Come back, Indy! Come on, come back to us!" And I hate it. I'm like,
I thought that it was funny how it's just like some fire that doesn't actually even have to touch them.
yeah, got rid
Wakes
of
them
it.
up. Wakes them up.
Yeah,
Like-
I know.
They didn't even like bother putting a burn mark on them.
Yeah, and it's like, well, isn't it hot in there? You guys are, like, in the pit of a volcano.
Right, and she gets much closer to that magma than the other guy.
First dude, yeah.
The other guy bursted into flames halfway down.
Yeah, and he was a goner, but she got like a foot from it and was just fine, just a little sweaty.
He was just a little sweaty, passed out a little bit because of heat exhaustion.
Understandable.
Understandable.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
And well, yeah, I just think they spent too much time in there. I got bored and I got confused because I spaced out.
And then she spaced out, and then she's like, "Oh man, why do I even watch this
And
movie?
I'm like, what are we doing?
How did we end up in this child labor camp?"
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I thought the minecart scene was fun.
Very fun scene.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I like those, like, I don't know what they are. Grunts? Brutes? Gentlemen? Guards?
Yeah, okay, that'll work. The oppressors.
I don't know. When they're in the carts behind them and,
Yeah.
like, they go flying, and it's quite amusing to hear them all go, ah! They go off the tracks.
Yeah.
I thought that was a fun scene. Like, I don't know, it's just fun. You felt like you were in the minecarts,
Mhm.
kind of.
It was shot really well because
Yeah.
it seemed like it was going fast,
Yeah,
and you're like, "Whoa!"
yeah. No, you felt it.
Yeah.
That was okay.
But you hear that, Spielberg? You did okay
I
on
did.
the mic cart scene.
All right. Don't get too cocky. I thought all the, like, fight scenes were bad. I was, like, very underwhelmed with all of them.
That was like 40% of the movie.
I know. Oh, I know.
They're all bad.
I thought they were all bad. I didn't like them. Like, you could see when Indiana's, like, fighting one person, you could see the other dude, like, standing behind him waiting his turn. I was like, huh?
They're gentlemen, all right.
I liked how he, like, Indiana didn't have a gun this whole time because it made him get more creative, and they, like, used that whip more that he's so, like, popular for.
They also did that stunt that they tried to do in the first film where he disarmed the man with a sword with his whip.
Yeah, and that was cool to see him, like, get more creative. But yeah, I don't know. I still thought they were bad. I don't know why this tiny king is a voodoo master.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't an effect of that drug everybody was on, which he was under too? Question mark?
He
was?
definitely was under it.
Okay, so
Because when Short Round hit him with that fire, he snapped out of it and was like, "Take the train car to
Okay,
the
yeah.
left."
right. Yeah, so I don't know why he became this voodoo master, and I don't know. I feel like they should have grabbed the voodoo doll on the way out because you never know.
Is India known for voodoo dolls?
I don't know.
Not that it really matters, because voodoo is just like a scary thing anyway.
Yeah, the only voodoo knowledge I have is from Princess and the Frog, and I don't even really remember it.
The only voodoo knowledge I have is from Supernatural, and I think they called it hoodoo, not voodoo.
Yeah. Oh, I ate donuts from a place called Voodoo once.
Right. I did too. It wasn't good.
Terrible.
Yeah. Even though all these people told me about it said it was the most amazing donut place ever.
People wait hours in line to get these donuts.
I think they waste their time.
And they're really expensive. Let me tell you. Go down the street to your local dive donut place.
Yeah.
It's going to be a million times better. And
Way
cheaper.
better. And cheaper.
And cheaper.
And supports that local business right
Support
there.
that local business.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know why that kid was a voodoo master.
I don't know why either.
It confused me. Nobody else was a voodoo master. Why did they only have a voodoo doll of Indiana Jones?
Wouldn't they want to make more voodoo dolls?
Right.
Like,
Of everyone?
and why wouldn't he just like twist off Indiana Jones' head?
Yeah. If
What?
the whole point was they wanted to kill him, why didn't he just kill him?
Yeah, why don't he just like,
Maybe that's not how voodoo dolls work.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
But if we have to know more about voodoo dolls to understand this, I feel like that's a short sighting right there. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, how many people do you think actually know about voodoo dolls?
I don't know. You might be surprised.
I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
To be fair, it doesn't really come up in casual conversation like, hey, nice weather. By the way, have you seen my voodoo doll lately?
I knew somebody in high school
What?
that had air quote voodoo dolls
Yeah,
that she would tell us about. She didn't stay in school very long.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, I don't know.
I imagine she kept on messing with the dean's voodoo doll. Dean's just like,
Like,
man,
stop it!
keep on ending with the crick in my neck here.
Back to the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't like. Okay, hold on. I liked the bridge scene where like they end up having to cut the bridge and then they're all like dangling and there's crocodiles or caiman or whatever they are down there. I think that's a fun scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's like suspenseful. Where the heck did these British come from? They're British, right?
Well, I mean, it's when Britain controlled India.
Okay. Where the heck did they come from? What did they know what was happening? Did they just like happen upon them? Like, they just appeared and it didn't. I was like, huh? Where were you guys like 10 minutes ago?
Right. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how he knew that they were supposed to be at the bridge. Even better, I don't even know how he knew that they were the bad guys and Indiana Jones was the good guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know how they knew any of that. They didn't really explain it, I don't think. Maybe they did and I didn't catch it.
Yeah, there's a lot I didn't catch in this movie.
Yeah. But like when they were talking during the dinner, I remember them talking about like when Britain took stuff and then Indiana Jones was going into folklore kind of territory and they're like, are you insulting him and stuff? Like, but they never really like rallied and was like, hey, these guys are oppressing a village.
Yeah. Why didn't he?
They stole their rock.
They really need their rock back, man.
Like, get my back.
Yeah.
I'll be over by the minecart exit. The one that goes off the cliff.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then they were able to also get around them.
On the other side.
Which it looks like there's only one bridge in in eyesight.
Uh-huh.
Unless if they just turn the camera around like 180 degree, then you'd see another bridge.
And they're like, go to that one.
And then Indiana Jones was like, I should have took that bridge.
I don't know. How about that dinner scene?
Oh, yeah, with the what was it?
Snake
the snake
surprise. What's the
Gosh.
surprise? They look so moist, those snakes.
That gave me nightmares as a kid so many times.
Yeah,
Oh.
I understand why. And then that gentleman that swallowed them whole.
Two at once.
Two.
Oh no, dude.
That whole meal. And then the bugs and then the
monkey brain.
monkeys. And the eyeball soup. I think that's the only moment I like between the kid and the woman.
When they're getting excited for the
Yeah.
soup, Short Round's got
Yeah.
a spoon up in the air.
They're both so like horrified together. The one thing they can agree on, and they're just hungry.
Very jarring food, especially for Americans.
It was rough. I don't know. I don't think they.
I don't know if they actually do snake surprise somewhere, but if I was at a table that did that, I would be so like, like.
Do you think those were more legless lizards?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I honestly don't know what they were. I doubt they were baby or baby pythons.
I was hoping we were gonna have these little legless lizards to carry us.
You want me to look it up real quick?
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd like to know if they were legless lizards. If they're any other species of snake, I don't care at all. But the chance that they could be our little legless lizard heroes would be pretty cool.
Coiled Wrigley's, also known as snake surprise, was a dish served at the Guardian. Oh, wait, hang on. It was live baby eels stuffed inside a boa constrictor.
Oh, that's why they were so wet. Slimy looking.
Yeah, and I think like eels don't really do anything to people.
Yeah, I think it depends on the eel.
Well, I think it. Yeah, I mean, like a moor eel will mess you up, but I think like these kind of eels, like,
well, if they're a baby, I don't know, and they're not in water, what are they gonna do?
Yeah, well, I think they just slimy and they just kind of like get out of places, but I don't think they bite. I don't think they're poisonous or anything like that.
Okay.
So I think they're just snake-like and
that
slimy.
That was fun. What a fun thing to find out.
I know. How would you like to be the actor pretending to eat two of them at once?
I mean, don't they have like eel sushi? Maybe it's just like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I don't think they actually ate them.
Oh,
but like,
so
imagine putting two slimy things in your mouth.
They're so slippery. What if you like dropped one?
Double fisting both of them, just like.
Imagine the eels.
I know.
They're like, whoa, man.
Traumatizing for everyone involved.
They're just babies.
They're never gonna grow up the same. Hopefully, they find a support group.
Group therapy is very effective.
Yeah.
How did you like it? What did you think?
Before we start talking, I would say that I did enjoy the film. There's a lot of the film I didn't like. I don't like the song and dance in the first minute.
Yeah.
So annoying. What's the point?
Yeah.
There was nothing added to the film with that. They could have started the second Indiana Jones walks into the place, and I think it would have been even better. Because then you'd be like, oh, he just took this poor one. What is she here for?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought that the jump off the plane with the
raft,
the lifeboat was so unbelievable that it was dumb.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like,
let's fashion it into a parachute and cut it open so it's longer. Or
let's fly the plane, or kind of like land the plane kind of with the slope somehow, and then jump out with the raft or anything like that, and then it looks like we're in the Himalayas or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like K2, and then instantly he drops down and we're looking at trees that belong in California.
Yeah.
And then they hit dirt like that. Looks like they're like at the base of Big Bear or something like that.
Yeah, it does. It does look like that.
And then they are hit in rapids that look like they went to like Montana or something. Like it's so crazily dumb and unbelievable that it's like, you guys couldn't have put in a little bit of thought. It would have been way more entertaining, I think, if there was one parachute and they had to figure out 3 people to fit on that parachute.
Yeah.
I think that would have been way more intense because it would have been believable.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would have been like, oh, how's he going to do this? How's he going to do this? You know?
And then it could have been funny because it was almost funny when they had to sandwich the kid in there.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a funny bit. So it could have been like that. They could have had to sandwich him and he's struggling the whole time because he's being squished or I don't know.
Yeah. And it's like the girl's got to hold on to him when she doesn't want to even touch him. And it's like life or you have to put up with the creep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could have done, I think there could have been more funny scenarios besides this raft.
The raft was just
And then it just
crazy.
falls off a cliff. Another cliff.
Another huge cliff.
And then they land perfectly into some rapids. And
Yeah.
then like the rapids, it's like kind of intense, but then it evens out. And then Indian village that has no water apparently.
Even though they're next to a river.
Well, we don't know how long they're walking for, but that guy just happened to be there. Which the guy that I guess I'll include it. Well, I mean, we're talking about it right now. The guy that found him, the shaman,
Yeah.
didn't speak any English.
Oh, well, at least it's accurate.
Well, I mean, but in the film he speaks English.
Oh,
He just repeated what he heard from Steven Spielberg.
nice.
So when you hear those pauses, he's waiting for Spielberg to say the next word or his next line, and then he's like trying to replicate the phonetics that he heard.
Wow. Well done.
I think so too.
But wow.
But yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, it was just like the weirdest excuse to have him end up in that village was by mountain, sled to river rafting. They could have just went straight from airplane, parachute, village. They
Yeah.
could have landed right in the village, and then it would have been like they were sent from God.
Yeah.
And they would have been like, you were sent to us from the gods. And they'd be like, no, we were sent by a crashing plane. Yeah, the gods. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There could have been it would have been better, I think.
Yeah.
But who the hell am I talking about this from now? You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I don't know. I think that would have been better.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I always thought that the prince or whatever, the voodoo kid,
Yeah.
I always thought it was a girl.
I was like trying to figure it out for the longest time.
The only reason why I don't think it was a girl was because he was topless.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I just like the kid's so young
Yeah.
and like has so much like headdress and like
Young voice.
accessories, and he has a young voice to where it's like
Yeah.
But I mean, I did conclude that it was a boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. We don't assume in 2020.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, I could see why you'd think that because I thought that.
Yeah. So when I was watching it again, I was like, oh no, I was wrong.
Yeah.
They even call him a prince.
Yeah.
And stuff. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
The girl, Willie.
Yeah.
I didn't like her at all
Mm-hmm.
for a majority of this film because she's just annoying. She like has all the worst traits a character could have, and they turned them up to 9. She's useless. She complains. She's vain. She's greedy. I can only imagine how much crap this woman has put up with playing this character.
Yeah.
I don't know why they wrote this character. Write a better character.
Yeah.
She doesn't even seem finished, but it's just like they wrote this character to do little rim shots throughout the movie. Like when she hears that the prince is single, she's like, "Oh, I want this guy because I could wear gold and be a princess." You know what I mean? She wants all these dumb reasons. It feels like they're doing all these horrible stereotypes for women in adventure movies,
That's exactly what it felt like.
And I don't know if they were doing that on purpose to make fun of it. I don't know. But if they were, it didn't come off all that well. There were moments where it kind of did, but I just didn't like the character.
Especially when you have the first one where it's like she's not a normal female lead. Like she smokes, she drinks, she cusses.
Yeah.
She's
tomboyish,
outspoken, and like she laughs at guys and is demanding. But like this one is so opposite of her.
Well, yeah. It's like they got a pretty blonde with big tits, and then they just kept on objectifying her.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like they thought they went too far in the first one with that woman lead.
I don't know.
And so maybe. Like, now we need to pivot the other way, and then they went too far again. The other side of the spectrum. I don't know, but it was jarring.
But even the actress that acted that character, she didn't like that character.
Oh, thank God.
I know. She was actually quoted calling that character dumb, screaming blonde.
I think that's really accurate.
And that's all she added to the movie was being dumb and screaming and was a blonde girl.
There's not one scene of hers that she's not screaming.
Yeah. Even when she's like saving Indiana Jones in Short Round, she's screaming and you kind of hate her. And you're just like,
shut up.
stop thinking about yourself and save these people. And even when she saves them, she doesn't care.
Yeah.
She's not like, oh my God, that's what you were going through, because she could see the spikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that character, it's just a sad character. It just seems like a lot of it just seems like they made this movie because the first one was such a success.
Yeah. I feel like it just was thrown together. I don't feel like it was as well thought out as the first one.
Well,
even though I didn't think the first one was that well thought out either.
Well, when I was reading about it, when they made this movie, they didn't have a good vision for it. Like, George Lucas didn't want Nazis in it, so they struggled to find a different antagonist. They wanted to use stuff that they didn't use in the first film. So, like, when at the end when he whips the girl and he tugs her in, they knew they wanted that scene in. They wanted certain things, but they didn't have a vision for it. As for the first film, he had a vision for a majority of the film, but he had another person write in areas. So like he knew he wanted like Indiana Jones looking for the Ark. He knew he wanted like the Ark to do certain things, and he knew he wanted Nazis and stuff like that. So he had like a majority of it done. And it sounds like it was the flip side for this one, where it was like he knew he wanted to make another Indiana Jones movie, but they didn't know how or where to go. And then, like, when he was like, let's do a prequel, the guy that filled in the gaps on the first film was like, nah, I don't want to do a prequel, and bounced. And didn't come back to help out Lucas on stuff until Return of the Jedi.
Wow.
And even Spielberg says that this was his least favorite film to work on out of the Indiana Jones series.
Yeah. It didn't get a lot of love.
It got a pretty good critical response.
Really?
Yeah. It was like initial response was kind of shaky, but then after a couple of years, everyone was like, no, it was an amazing film.
Interesting.
But, you know, I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of hard to defend the shortcomings of this film.
Yeah.
It's not hard to defend the short rounds of this film. Still like Short Round.
He's good.
And I do like the scene where they're liberating the kids.
Yeah.
That's a great scene when he like hops on that like pulley or whatever and goes to the minecart and drops down in the minecart. Like, that's a great scene. Like, and that's all real time, actual happening stunts and stuff.
Yeah.
But the second they get out of the minecart scene and they're like walking to the outside of the, like, I'd call it a water spout where all the water rushes out, you could clearly see the halo around them where they had to cut out these characters on a green screen or something.
Yeah.
When it was rudimentary. And you see that with the people falling down into the alligators and stuff. It's kind of cheesy.
Yeah, definitely.
But what can you do? It was a new technology back then.
Yeah.
So.
But again, like, the first one didn't have that much of that.
No. The first one had a lot of practical stuff. Yeah. I mean.
I guess they're just experimenting or something.
I mean, it's got to be implemented at some point in time. If nobody takes the jump, then it never happens.
Yeah, you're right.
I think this movie is turning into one of those movies where you just can't think critically about it. You got to just accept it as is. You can't analyze it. You can't go sleuthing through it, because all you'll see is just, instead of it being a blanket, you're going to be like, oh, it's a net. You know what I mean? It's just full of holes.
Yeah.
It's cinema history for what it's worth, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
And, I mean, if it wasn't for this film, we wouldn't have other things that were like it, like National Treasure or something.
No, definitely. Yeah.
First National Treasure, still an amazing film, I think.
Yeah.
Although I haven't seen it in a while.
That's true. It might be bad. It might be like this.
It might be like Indiana Jones. But there is talks about like an Uncharted series eventually coming to a film. And Uncharted, the video game series, is very Indiana Jones-esque, although different, because the main guy, Nathan Drake, is considered a thief. But he's got that Indiana Jones, like,
yeah.
So I would say he has a better swagger, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. We'll see what the next one has in store.
Right. I mean, we're 2 for 2. 2 days, 2 Indiana Jones movies. Tomorrow, probably 3 for 3. Yeah. Wrap them up.
Here's hoping.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Get this over with.
Maybe it's a masterpiece.
I'm hoping that they found their middle ground. Their second wind, their inspiration, their muse.
Oh.
And it's the best movie I've ever seen.
Maybe.
Or
Sean Connery is in it, so.
who's that? I'm not good with movies. I'm not good with actors' names or band names. Don't ask me that either.
He was James Bond for a while. Did you ever see The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
No, that's okay.
Wait. Actually, he is the male lead in Darby O'Gill and Little People. The love interest, not the old man.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He was the young boy, you're my dear, my darling dear.
Yeah, cool.
You do know one movie, even though it's a really old one.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it is. And it really is.
Yeah. I don't know. It's either this next one's going to be really bad and it's going to make the second one look better.
Like this one did to the first one.
And the first one's going to be amazing.
And that's how they made the movies amazing.
Well, yeah. Or it's going to stomp them all. We'll see.
I'm kind of excited.
I'm curious.
Well, would you like to hear some facts?
Yes.
Fact time.
Oh, I was off.
No, we're just going to keep it.
Okay.
Came out in 1984.
Great.
Yep.
That's
That's
older than you.
The budget for this film was $28 million.
That's a lot of dollars.
I think it was less than
No, it's more.
$8 million more.
Yeah.
That made $333 million
Made more than the first one.
at the box office, I should say. Yeah, I think so.
What
Well,
was the last
usually
one?
no, actually, it
300?
made less
Oh, it did?
at the box office. The first one made $340 million at the box office. So this one made just like a little bit,
A little shy.
$7 million less.
Darn.
Yeah. But,
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
People like it.
didn't like it nearly as much as the first one though.
Yeah.
But still $300 million,
Yeah.
you know,
Nothing.
in profits.
Yeah. Nothing to be ashamed of.
Nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
And that's just in the box office. That's not even including merch,
Yeah.
home video sales,
Right.
because they made it home video sales doing VHS and then Laserdisc, then DVDs,
Blu-rays.
Blu-rays. You know they've made money back then some.
For sure.
When the girl Willie did the bug scene,
Uh-huh.
the actress took sedatives beforehand.
Because she didn't want to be with the bugs.
Nope. She was like with 3,000 bugs on her or something.
I don't blame her.
Yeah.
Most of those bugs were like, they looked like praying mantises.
Yeah, I
and, like,
think they
stick
were.
bugs
Yeah.
and like beetles. But still.
Doesn't look
I
fun.
don't blame her at all.
Bunch of creepy crawlies on you.
Yeah. That'll give me nightmares.
All right, so this one you'll actually like. The minecart running down, right? All those sounds of the minecart they got by going to Disneyland and riding the roller coasters without all the music and all that.
Wow.
Yeah.
How'd they get that? Is this a Disney film?
It's a Lucasfilm.
How'd they get that?
Well, I mean, Lucas had a good relationship with Disneyland
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
or with Disney in general.
Okay.
And Spielberg as well. You know, I mean, you have these two behemoths
Yeah.
that are essentially privatized filmmakers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when they're like, hey, can we use some of your stuff? Disney's probably like, yeah, okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
I
What
knew
a-
you'd like
What
that.
a fun fact.
I mean, that might have been the time when they made Star Tours at Disneyland. Because they made Star Tours definitely before they made Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
When did Star Tours come out?
Oh.
I mean, we watched the Imagineering story.
I don't know.
Let me just look it up.
I'm not good with movies. I'm not good with actors' names. I'm not good with band names. And I'm not good with dates.
What are you good at, Aubrie?
Well, being mean to classic movies.
Yeah, you're excelling at that.
I also make a mean chili.
Opened in 1987. So
After.
3 years. But maybe they were in talks during that time.
Yeah, maybe.
you
Things
know?
take forever to make. So, bit of a tanglement over there. Podcasting is an audio medium. Bradley has severely entangled two of his headphone wires. It's The Twizzly one has swallowed the straight one.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought this one was a fun fact. The club at the very beginning, in Shanghai, the nightclub was called Club Obi-Wan.
Kenobi!
Is that what it's from?
Is there like specialty dish, the hello there?
Well, hello there. No, it's probably like, I haven't heard that name in a very long time.
Their signature cocktail is the Old Ben.
Oh! Can I get? Oh, that's a good one.
I want to make this restaurant.
This club, you mean?
Yeah. They have food at clubs, right? I don't go to the club very often.
You know what? I don't know. All the episodes of Bar Rescue I watched, I don't know if I saw club one.
If there's a bar, there's usually food. I guess it depends on the bar.
Yeah.
Generally, they have like snackies.
Well, they were sitting at like a table, and everyone was dressed fancily.
There was a tablecloth.
Dude, no, there was food there because remember when he stabbed the guy with the sword?
Oh yeah, it had food on it.
It had like steaks or something on it, and then it went straight into his heart.
Yeah, that was what a way to die.
I hated those guys.
Me too, but what a delicious way to die. He was a true snack.
I don't think you got to taste the meat as it went into his stomach.
It was like an expedited process.
My last one is that the girl who played Willie,
Mm-hmm.
her name's Kate Capshaw. This film is where Spielberg would meet his future wife, his soon-to-be wife,
Is it her?
which is Kate Capshaw.
Oh, that's sweet.
They married in 1991.
He's like, you captured my heart with all your annoying screaming. I knew you were the one for me.
All that screaming, I just could not help but fall in love with you.
What a drag you were. Ooh.
You are my favorite part in this movie.
Swoon.
Yeah.
That's nice.
At least something good came of it, right?
Yeah. Still hate her though.
Besides all that money.
Yeah. Love is more important than money.
Hey, they're still married, so
Hey, that's great.
almost 30 years.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Your face.
Oh, I should have moved.
I'm so disappointed.
It's getting cut out. No one wants to hear me burping into the mic.
I mean, you never know.
But yeah, no, it'd be 30 years in another year. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for them.
still going strong, man.
Congratulations.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Hopefully everyone will join us one more time at least.
Maybe two.
Hopefully more after this, but
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, please. Sometimes I like movies.
But yeah, we'll finish up third movie. I don't know if we'll do the fourth one after the third one. We might take a break from Indiana Jones for a bit,
Yeah.
like they had to.
Yeah.
Join us next week when we talk about Indiana Jones and is it The Last Crusade
Sure.
or The Lost Crusade?
You could tell me anything and I'd be like, that's it. That's the one.
Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.